So, with all that said, the last topic I wanted to take on, just a quick note, is an interesting report I saw from EPRI saying that AI power constraints may now be a CIO problem. So, the fundamental challenge is that when you look at, say, an OpenAI ChatGPT type request and compare that to a Google search request, it takes 10 times more energy to support ChatGPT. So obviously, as GPT and other LLMs become more widespread, that power usage is going to be grow a lot. And there's three main recommendations from this paper that are going to hit the CIO office at some point. The first is around building better data center efficiency improvements and have increased flexibility. This is going to mean both improving your internal data centers as well as being able to figure out your hybrid cloud story as to what should stay internal, what should be private cloud, what should be public cloud, and being able to make all of those measurements from a power perspective. Second of all, they recommend improving coordination between data center developers and electric companies regarding power needs, timing, flexibility, electric supplies, and delivery constraints, meaning that you're going to have to be linking your infrastructure more closely and more directly to your power. This might affect some of your geographic decisions. Of course, your biggest data center decisions have already been made with this in mind, but this is probably going to have a longer tail effect on your infrastructure over time as we find more and more ways to use power more directly and perhaps more reasons to be able to use off-grid power sources or independent power sources where we are less dependent on the grid, especially at peak times when normal end users and employees also need electricity. And speaking of, the third recommendation that they made in this paper was about modeling the 5 to 10 year grid investments to accommodate data center growth and to identify strategies for maintaining grid reliability with these large novel demands from generative AI. Of course, you have generative AI, you have your current infrastructure. It's hard to imagine that we will be using less power over time and fewer computers and devices and phones and Internet of Things and edge computing and other things like that. So we are going to have to figure out how to support some of these perhaps edge use cases from a power and infrastructure perspective. And I expect that's going to end up in the CIO's hands, as almost every sort of metering based approach to using tech has ultimately come down to an engineer or an architect in the IT world, and then have that information spread out to finance and accounting and other business use cases, but other business departments. I think the CIO is going to own this one over time.